chunky or plus size in a slim obsessed world is not easy. Take it from me. I have fought to be on the slim side, but I've come to accept this vessel in which I live. I mean, I exercise, I dance, I walk, I have fun. So I love me, the vessel I'm in. It has been a journey since I said I fought to be on the slim side. And I've come to the acceptance that if it is the universe's will for me to be on the slimmer side, then I will be directed accordingly. But I'm not going to fight anymore. I was called names, particularly by my sibling, my brother, when I was growing up, which got me very angry at a lot. And it affected my self-esteem a lot to an extent. And hence the reason why I fought so much to be on the slimmer side. Not that he himself is on the slimmer side. I have done a lot of crazy stuff. I have done diets. I went not eating. When I was like 17, 18, I was attending TAMCC and TMRC Community College. And I didn't eat any breakfast. I didn't eat any lunch. I just had to get skinny. And thanks to my friend Marcel Strawn, who's now Marcel Mitchell, who was standing close by because I almost fainted. Literally, I went like this and she caught me. And I said, not anymore. I'm not going to kill myself out. I did try again, as many people with weight issues do, until come to the acceptance. Here are the stories of two other women, one of whom is Kim DeBellot, and she's a customs officer who, like myself, has always been on the chunkier side of life.
Where are you from?
Osheju St. George.
Okay, Kim. Have you always been chunky?
Ever since I know myself.
Has it ever bothered you?
Not really. There might just be certain areas that may not be good at certain point in time, not all the time. Maybe it depends on what you want to wear or so. But to be a bother, never.
How about you? When did you really realize that you were plus size?
Since going to school. Because while going to school at that time, being plus size, then you have to get more space on the desk and all of that. So some desks where they used to be sharing, like having two children, I used to take the whole desk, you know. So from since that time.
Did it ever affect your self-esteem?
No. You see, I guess maybe how I grew up and my exposure from since then, everybody that I've been around always loved me and always loved my temperament and everything that I give. So people always find me joyous and jovial, and so that just have me or cause me to have a flamboyant spirit, you know, that kind of way. So everybody that came around me always gets infected by me in that kind of way. So it's maybe helped me to boost myself more as opposed to affect myself. You understand?
Do you have any children?
I have one daughter.
So tell me, you said it never bothered you. Did you ever try to lose weight?
I tried to lose weight in certain areas, my belly. Because you know when you want to put on a little swimsuit, you want to be a little spick and spank, you know, that kind of way. So it's just my belly. If I could get rid of this, I mean, nobody could talk to me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What do you say to young people? Because we're in a slim obsessed world, and being plus size, people look at you and make, you know, comments.
I would just tell anybody, no matter how old you are, just love yourself. Get to know what you like, get to know the beauty about you, and that will overcome all other obstacles. Because the truth is, we always tend to major in the minor things that affects us. And once you go to pay more attention to that, that will eventually override the good things, because that's all you see. But once you get to see the good things and you pay attention to that, nobody else could bring down anything, neither yourself, because your mind is your greatest tool. So So if you tell yourself you're beautiful, no matter what nobody tells you, you're gonna be beautiful. No matter what you put on, no matter what you wear. And the thing is, once you tell yourself that, you start to walk with that in you. It usually becomes a part of you without you even trying. So that's, to me, that is how I help myself. And my daughter is plus size, and I usually tell her that every day. So when she wakes up, you love yourself, I love you, you love you. Who else could be against you? You know, and that's just the way it is.
What's your name?
Bricalia de Bellas.
And how old are you?
9 years old. I will be taking 10 February the 7th, Independence Day.
What's your independence, girl?
Yeah.
All right, so you're independent. So what do you like to do?
I like to help people and make people happy.
So you are chunky. Does that bother you?
No.
Really?
No.
Why?
Because you just need to love your life and don't care about people say about your size, but about you looking ugly, just ignore them. Just do what you like to do till long because you only have one life to live.
And what school do you attend?
Heinz School.
Do people tease you?
A lot, but I don't care.
You sure?
Yeah.
I like you.
Thank you very much.
Another female whom I can call a friend and a former classmate because we attended the St. Louis RC Girls School together and St. Joseph's Convent at the same time. She is Mrs. Shauna Thomas Coffey, who is a psychotherapist. Here is her story.
The topic is being plus size in a slim obsessed world. Have you always been, for want of a better word, chunky?
Yes. I don't ever remember being non-chunky. I have always been chunky chocolate, and proudly so, I must say.
Describe your childhood. Did you have any body issues as a child, as a teen? How did you deal with being chunkier than the rest of your classmates? Did it bother you?
No, it really didn't. I have had the opportunity to attend excellent schools. You know, I'm a product of top Catholic education. I want to say that because I appreciate it very well. And my elementary school principal or primary school principal, Sister Garanti, always spoke about being special and being God's gift. So that's what I heard all the time. I'm coming from a family where everybody felt valued and appreciated. I understood that my gifts were my own and I needed to exercise my gifts. I needed to just excel. I needed to be who I was. I needed to do my best. And that's what it was. I think the first time I realized that I had a little bit more size than my peers was a time I remembered vividly. I must have been in standard 3. And a gentleman in the terminus, we didn't call it the terminus yet, we called it the market where people got buses. He said, "Hey, that little fat so cute we." And I didn't even turn around, I didn't even blink, but I went home and I told my grandmother, I said, "This is what was said." And she said, "Can you describe him?" And I did. I had no idea what she had planned to do, and she went and she found him. And she said, "This is my granddaughter. Did you address her?" My grandmother had a way of dealing with things, huh? And he said,
I'm not surprised where you get it from, but anyway, go ahead.
He said, "No." He said, "She doesn't lie. Did you remember saying these words to anybody?" He said, yes, but I find she nice and thick and pretty." My grandmother said, "Listen, don't you ever call anybody child any fatso." She said people name their children and their children have names. If you want to know the name and you want to say something nice, that was not a nice thing to say. I am just paraphrasing. You know, she never said it the way I just said it. And I can only leave it to your imagination for the other words that she would have used. Now, that made a statement to me that when you are loved and you come from a family with strong core values, they cement who you are. So the outside dissenting voices, they do not get that power to infiltrate that sense of fortified strength that you would have been afforded by your small group. Okay?
What about your teen years? Did you ever want to be skinny?
Well, when you had to wear clothes and clothes didn't fit, and you had certain body parts that wouldn't go down right, or you would look flushed, you know, in certain things, you had some thoughts. But you know, when you have parents who, you know, never batted an eyelash in terms of what do I do and why couldn't you be like this? No. You just went a size up. If you went a size up, they bought a size up. And if you went down, which I never did, you got a size down. But that was never an issue, you know. Our core values are God, family, and education, right? That's what it was. No health, you did everything healthy. So, you know, you walked, you exercised. School was a healthy place. School was a healthy place.
Describe, you know, when you say healthy place, what you mean?
School was a healthy place for me. It was a place where you could grow, you could blossom, you could bloom. You had some moments where you know, you didn't feel too good about some certain situations, but I was generally happy. I generally, you know, there wasn't a day where I felt I didn't want to go to school because of body image. And Serrano plus size is a term that was created to justify the existence of people who are, you know, ample bodied. Just as how you have differently abled persons or people, I don't like to use that word persons, differently abled people, mentally and developmentally and psychologically and academically, so too physically you have differently abled people or differently built. I want to introduce that terminology. Differently built people, and we must get to the point as a society where we need to respect the value of human beings. You know, every human being is a dignified entity, and if we start seeing each other as that, then there'll be no line of demarcation with who's thin size, who's plus size, you know, who's sexy and who's not, right? Because all those things are images placed really for marketing and commercialized purposes. Because look, the plus size industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Because they realize, listen, these people exist and we need to make clothes for them, we need to do this for them. And now you go online, you have your plus size section, right? Or Mrs., you know, they were a little bit classy before and said Mrs. So you know the Mrs. was from oversized 12. So 12 and under were regular, and then you have 14 and up as Mrs.
So tell me, what do you say to young girls, especially, I mean, we know it's a slim obsessed world.
Yes.
You say to young girls especially, boys deal with it as well, but girls, because you know, you hear, I was told you wouldn't get a boyfriend because you're too fat. People are told a lot of negative things. And you know, you want to be loved, you want to be accepted, but everyone cannot fit into the same box. Right. What do you say to young girls struggling with their bodies, even adults? They're struggling to be something that they're not. And granted, I'm not saying don't exercise and eat healthy.
Of course.
But I'm just saying, you know, just accepting who you are. Your line of work deals with psychosocial. Yes. What do you say?
Right, so one of the things you say is, do you know who you are? Because self-awareness is the first step in dealing with any issue. Do you know who you are? So if you're an iPhone, you cannot be a Samsung. The properties are different, okay? The manufacturers made sure that there were different features, right? And these features determine the sales, okay? These features were pushed by demand. So you have to know, who am I? What do I bring to the table? What don't I have? And does the fact that I don't have it mean that I am less worthy? No. We're all worthy of love. We're all deserving of great things. All of us. Flawed, bodily, mentally, we're all deserving of great things. But here's what. We need to make a concerted effort to extend ourselves for change and development, because change is constant. If your attitude is not right, you have to work on it. Your mind is not right, you have to work on it. That's where I come in. but you have to know that there's work to be done. So you're not doing it because you want to be like somebody. You can emulate someone who's positive because they have characteristics or they have character traits that you value, and you'd like to emulate that for your own development, but not so that you can be that person. You have to be you. You are your own person. You are your own you. Be uniquely you. That's what I would tell young teens, especially those on the cusp of puberty or right smack in the middle of puberty, where there's so many changes. Your face looks different. You know, there are things growing on you that never grew before. You know, you have to wear certain, clothing that you've never worn before. The bra in itself is the biggest hindrance for women because, you have to bridle yourself. Bridle. When men were making bras were not really designed by women. I don't know if many people know that. When women started designing bras, it became more comfortable. It became something that is not just you feel like a horse with a harness, but it was a comfort piece because it's now a necessary piece of your clothing. And when we talk to young girls and we talk to young women, we want them to understand their own sexuality, their body types. We want them to have positive body images, so we have to do a lot of sessions and talks about that. So, they're not just in a way, I have this here and I have that here, and they're not separated from their body. Know that their body is part of them and they need to treat their bodies right.
Thank you for viewing Serrano Mitchell World. I hope those of you on the slimmer side of life see us on the chunkier side in a different light. Many of us are very positive and we accept ourselves and our bodies. We love ourselves and we love you. So just love us back the way we are. If you like this program, please like, share, and comment. I am Serrano Mitchell. Have a great one.